Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? I'm still on the. There we go. There we go. What's up? What's up? What's up? There we go. Just a slight little bit, and then we'll get rolling here. Get rolling. How's things going? There. Right on here. Ah, hello. Seconds. How are we doing? Six. Gosh. Let me know as you guys come in. Let me know who's here. Let me know who's here. Please. Let me know who's here so I can know on a Monday morning. I appreciate you guys getting up with me here to go through with this. You know, it's the least of things, right? I appreciate that, guys. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? How's things hanging? How's things hanging? Hanging around? Like, doing okay here. I mean, it's just kind of you get into kind of they call it like they call it like the they call it like the they call it like the Groundhog Day of things. You do the same thing, same thing, same thing. Hopefully, with things opening up, it kind of will help out a little bit. Like kind of let things to be able to kind of slowly work their way back to normal. I'm not a government official. Hopefully, things kind of get back to normal sooner. Sooner rather than later. I like to be able to go to a baseball game, or go out and just you know, go shopping, or go to a mall, or go to a restaurant, for gosh sakes, right? You know what I mean? Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Um, I kind of work with here. I'm going to kind of work with, kind of go over a little bit of things. Run through a few example questions. If time permitting, we'll get through a little bit of a, I guess, mathematical modeling. We'll do a little bit of modeling of a question. Again, it's time permitting. It's kind of like we'll kind of see what we can do with time for today and tomorrow. So just try to make it a little bit different than just me just going through questions and you guys kind of sitting there, who's ever live with me, which I appreciate this. That's good, man. That's good, Malachi. As long as you're doing all right, man. Like you said, it's May the 4th. May the 4th or May the 4th? This is Star Wars Day or something like that. I'll admit I'm not a huge Star Wars person, but because it's always people always say May the 4th, May the Force be with you, and all that good stuff. Anyways, if you look at this, and it says a tile pattern is shown on a coordinate plane. It says write expressions using absolute value to find the length and the width of rectangle AEMJ. And it says use the length and width to find the area of AEMJ. In your guys' instance, in your eighth grader grades instance right here, you guys should be able to understand this a little bit more. But I'm going to break this down just to kind of help out here. So when they're talking about this and saying, well, write expressions using absolute value to find the length and the width of rectangle AEMJ. What they're really trying to show you here is they're trying to say, well, the length of AE. So the length of AE. Now, obviously, you can count this. You can say, well, I can go from A and say, well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So you'd say that the length. Is 11 units. Is 11 units. 7 and 8, and that would be 8 units on this. So if you had 11 units and then you had 8 units, that would be your length and width of rectangle AEMJ on this. Now, here is where what they're trying to ask. They're trying to say we use absolute value. Well, if I'm at here, well, the absolute value of, and in this instance, it's going to be -5 plus, I'm sorry, the absolute, because it's moving -5 this way. So you'd say in this instance, I do this, the absolute value of -5 plus the absolute value. In this instance, we know what this is, but the absolute value from going from 0 to 6. So if I said, well, what is the, what's the absolute value of -5? The absolute value of -5 is 5, and the absolute value of 6 is going to be 6. 5 plus 6 is 11. This is your expression for the length. That's your expression for the length. LNGTH. LNGTH. Length, yes. Right, exactly. On this instance, well, you're going from 0 to -2, the absolute value of -2 plus the absolute value of, I'm going from 0 to 6, absolute value of -2 is 2, and the absolute value of 6 is obviously 6, which would make that width be 8. That width to be 8 on that instance. So if we use that length and width to find the area of AEMJ, well, obviously it's 11 times 8. 11 times 8 is going to be 88 units squared. 88 units squared. 88 units squared. Okay. Again, absolute value is trying to show, when they're talking about using absolute value, it's trying to break down, it's trying to be able to break down the fact of, if you have a length on this that goes into the negative here as well as the positive, if you're having issues trying to say, well, what's the absolute value, how much is it different? Remember, absolute value is always a positive number. Absolute value is always positive. The absolute value of -3,133 is going to be 3,133. Okay, it's that distance away from 0 that it has. So like in this instance right here, if this dot j is 2 units from 0. So if j is 2 units from 0, you can say, well, the absolute value of -2, because it goes down to -2. Okay. That absolute value would be 2. And you move, obviously, your +6 plus your 6 is going to be 8. Okay, is going to be 8. So that's the length and width to find the area of that. Yeah, that's kind of refreshing that little bit of a concept right there. Let's see what we got. One more here. CHD is 37 degrees. Find KHL. Find KHL and then GHK. Well, here you go. If the measure of CHD, so if the measure of CHD is going to be 37, find KHL. Find KHL. If you remember, this is what we call a vertical angle. So that's a vertical angle. That is a vertical angle on that. Vertical angles are always equal to each other. Vertical angles are always equal to each other. So when they look at this and say, well, what's KHL? KHL measure of KHL is going to be 37 degrees as well. So in the final part, it says, we'll find the measure of GHK. One more time. GHK. So GHK, that is going to be the complementary angle to KHL. Remember, these two lines create 90 degrees, create a 90-degree angle. So the 90-degree angle gets created here. Okay, gets created there. So when you have those two angles, like you see, You can then merely just take 90 minus 37, and 90 minus 37 is going to be 53. GHK, measured angle GHK, is going to be 53 degrees. 53 degrees. All right, that's 53 degrees. All right. All right. Hope it's kind of coming across all right. Again, these are just kind of concepts that we've gone over a little bit. I do want to get into something else for a little bit. And I think it's not too bad, but Now I'm going to be referencing. I'm going to be referencing a. Find it here. I'm going to be referencing questions about a kind of like an activity. I call it interactive, but it's just something different than usual when it comes to this. I'm going to show a little video. It's a quick video, but the idea of this is to be able to create kind of like a mathematical model of things. Let your brain kind of work a little bit to be able to say, to be able to to identify, the relationship between, variables, developing a model to represent the situation, and you use that model to propose a solution. And in this instance, we're going to talk about two-dimensional, three-dimensional figures. As you kind of see here, it's going to deal with some little bit of mental images here. Which, if you're following along with me here, live or on demand, I hope it kind of come across well. The questions I'm going to reference are within Google Classroom. Now, it's put up there as an assignment, but listen, go through it. This is something to help you reference this. It's under classwork. You can hit this Students Edition e-text. All right, grade A, topic 6. You can be able to go through that and just kind of, and to be able to just kind of have that to reference there. All right. So let's be able to find it, bring this in a new window. There, that's the right way to do it. I already had it open. Now, the idea with this here is if we were in class physically, I would actually have everybody working this and everybody to be able to, I guess, have their own ideas, their own thoughts. There's no incorrect answer with these. There's no incorrect way of doing this. It's just a way for you to mentally see things, to be able to, I guess, utilize concepts you went over during class to be able to kind of understand what's going on. It's a different way of doing things. It's different than me just doing questions and you guys just kind of going like this. So let me get into this real quick here. Now it's 26 seconds, but I'll let it kind of roll here. So if we were together in class right there, I'd sit there and I'd tell you, and I would ask it. I said, well, after watching that video, I'd say, well, what's the first question? What's the first question that would come to mind in this instance? What would be the first question that would come to mind in this instance, right there? And for me, I would be looking at this. I would be looking at this and I would say, well, obviously what you have in front of you is going to be a lot of their mental, I guess you call them mental images here. Things to be able to where you'd be able to say, all right, I look at this image right here. I look at this image. I look at this image, and I look at this image, and what do I see? Well, I see that the green circles are much bigger than the green circles onto the other one. And in my instance, to me, this looks like it's bigger than that one. Okay, that's totally up to you when it comes to that. It's totally up to you when it comes to that. One second. One second. There we go. There we go. That's my instance on that. You look at these two roads right here. In my instance, I'm using my personal belief. I would think that this is bigger than this one right there. Okay, the other one right there I'd be able to look at the third one, and in these images that you see right here, in my instance, it looks as if these right here, it looks as if these lines, the lines that separate these, kind of go at like a bend to these here. Okay, again, it's you'll see as we kind of complete this between today and the next stream for tomorrow. The next stream for tomorrow, where if you where the next stream for tomorrow, to whether or not you'll see if that is the exact correct thing. But the idea, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a clue, is that you have to use your instance of dealing with like translations and reflections. And there's our nice vocabulary term of things like translations and reflections and all that kind of good stuff to be able to come up with your questions that you have. So if I said, oh, and then there's the fourth one. I'm sorry. And the fourth one, well, you can say is B bigger than A? Is the circle that you see bigger than the other ones? Again, each brain is different than anybody else on this. Those are just different questions that you can be able to come up with. You say, well, what kind of pattern? Which shape is bigger, darker, longer? Again, no question is different than the others. Everybody has a different idea about things, which is always a fun part about doing this. So I would then come through and I would say, well, the main question in this instance is, I would ask you in each, kind of bring this into the chat. I would say in each image, so in each image you see, which shapes are the same? Which shapes are the same? And you said that's the main question. That's question number 2. I'm sorry, that's question 2. You'd say in each image, which shapes are the same? Are the same. All right. So which shapes would be the same? And again, we went through and we looked at these and said, okay, it's entirely your thought on this. I showed you my predictions on these. I showed you my predictions on these. The predictions. We will actually tomorrow come up with the actual full answers to this. The predictions to the answer to this main question. Now, again, I look at this. It looks as if these are different. It looks as if these are different. It looks as if these are all different as well too. And the one that looks like to me that looks the same. It looks as if A and B are kind of the same. There we go. To me, it looks like A and B are the same. It looks like A and B are the same, and this is just a checkerboard pattern. And this is just a checkerboard pattern. Okay. If you are so inclined and you want to go through this on your own, you're more than welcome to. If not, obviously, I totally understand. But this is, again, within your Google Classroom. It's in Google Classroom underneath the Fireball and or Cosmic classwork stream. If you go into the stream, you'll see I said, I hope everyone's having a good Sunday for this week's live streams. I'll be dealing with, referencing online content within, Pearson Realize. Okay, that's the stuff we've started to go over. We'll go over it again tomorrow to kind of go through the full idea about everything. It'll make total more sense. It's just being able to use some concepts that you utilized throughout the whole, throughout the time frame right there just to be able to, I guess, answer your questions with that kind of stuff. Um, but with that being said, I'm going to cut this here. I have to get onto a call here soon, and I want to be able to see if you those of you live with me have any questions about anything. Any questions? Please put it in the chat now. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Give it like a 20, 30 seconds for a response here. But again, I'm going to go back through this tomorrow. It's just kind of dealing with mathematical modeling. It's dealing with things to where you're given kind of like a real world scenario and kind of being able to utilize mathematical concepts to come up with an answer to a question. Kind of pretty simple, but again, just utilizing things a different way than just doing, well, what is 42 plus 42? Well, what's 3x plus 3x? It's just a different way of doing things. I don't see anything in the chat, but I hope everybody is having a good morning so far. Always reach out via email if you have any questions with anything. I am more than happy to help out. Please email me. I'm going to put my email in the chat real quick. Okay, Summit Academies. Again, I mean, if you have any questions with that, if you have any questions, please email me. Please email me to that. I will definitely be more than happy to answer and to deal with any issues that might arise with things. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a good rest of your day. I hope to see you tomorrow in the YouTube sense. Other than that, have a good day. See you.